I feel like life just be lifing. That's literally the theme. Life be lifing. I'm saving and stacking my money because I'm not joking. Monthly, I need to be somewhere. I don't care if it's ginger. I need to get out. Your girl has to get. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel where we're all about value-adding content for you to live an authentic and fulfilled life. So I already filmed this. It was so good, but like 15 minutes into an hour video, the audio was just off, like literally off. You couldn't hear me. So we're doing this again. Today's video is a 4-year update on me living here in Uganda. I will get into the nitty-gritty, addressing some of the things that many of you ask about. I want to keep the flow similar to one of my previous videos, which was mind, body, soul. I believe like finances, family and friends, and like those were the main categories. And then we're gonna add a little bit of business in there as well. All right, let's just get into the video. So yes, I cannot believe it's been 4 years that I've lived here. I mean, I can believe it because I always feel like I can do anything I put my mind to that I wanna do. Just more so that time flies. Time really flies. And over the 4 years, I feel like I've grown up in so many different ways that I feel like were unexpected and were such a blessing. And I'm so, so grateful for it. I'm grateful that I got to do that while I lived here as opposed to Canada. I don't think I would have had that push. I feel like when you're thrown into like a different environment, like you throw like, I don't know, maybe like a home fish into the sea and they're like, flourish, young Nemo. That's me. So I feel like the current theme of my life now, especially looking back in the last 4 years and where I'm at right now, because I'm in such a good space, I feel like life just be lifing. That's literally the theme. Life be lifing. And that being said, it really just means like just allow. Life will just do what life wants to do. Life will go on regardless of whatever you're going through. So just allow it. Like literally let go and let God. That has been my theme. Allow things, stop being so neurotic and trying to over plan and I don't know, just how I am all the time. I'm such a perfectionist. So I just need things to be exactly how I want them to be. Doesn't mean this is overnight. This is me literally telling myself this all the time. Woosah, Rachel, like relax. Because I feel like anywhere you move, that's just different than an environment that you're used to. You're going to catch you're gonna feel like you're going against the grain. And these days, I just wanna go with the flow, honey. I'm like, go with the flow, allow it. Still have obviously goals and plans because I'm such a goal-oriented person, very much about planning my life. I'm always in my head manifesting. I'm always in a cloud 9 somewhere. My parents used to always tell that to me as a kid. They're just like, you literally live in this world in your head, which I do. But just because it may not yet be manifesting in my everyday reality doesn't mean it's not going to happen. And just let it be. Let it be. Just allow it. Just allow it because honestly, God has everything under control. Everything will happen when it's meant to happen. And yeah, everything will come to fruition. But I feel like, and I don't even just feel like it, I really do believe that when you're forcefully like going against the grain, swimming upstream when the flow is going the other direction, not only are you exerting so much more work, but definitely maybe you'll get there, but it's just so much harder than just working with God. So that's really where I'm at. Life be lifing and just let it be. So let's get into family. It's literally a one-liner. I need to see my family more often. I am so guilty at that. It really shows like my individualistic mindset of being North American. You really be getting in your own head, in your own world, like I said, focused on whatever it is you have going on and what you want to do, and forgetting like you live in a community with people and family and friends, and you just need to actually check up on people more often. I'm so guilty at that. Also, I feel like for the longest time, me and my sister, I think I mentioned this in a previous video, me and my immediate sister who follows me, Tracy, Mia's mommy, me and her are like 13 months apart? Yeah, we're 13 months apart. Then there's like 7 years between us and our cousins. And then there's everybody else. I've just recently found out that I've had cousins who are closer to my age somewhat. but they all live really far. So the ones who live here, it's a very big age gap, which now that they've moved here and now that they're around, I'm now need to get used to like hitting them up more often. I'm so guilty of that. Like I'm so bad, but I love them. They're all so sweet and it's always a good time. And I don't know, I'm the type of personality that literally can hang out with different age groups. So for me anyway, I feel like, yeah, I just need to really hit up people more often. My grandpas, still have 2 grandpas who are very much alive and very active. So just seeing them more often too. And then aunts and uncles that honestly, amazing. The most amazing people. Like sometimes I just sit there and I'm just want to hear and soak up stories and whatever they have going on and just learn because they've lived here forever. So they just know a lot about what's going on and how to maneuver and whatever. And just learning just life, like the wisdom, soaking in wisdom and knowledge. So yeah, I need to be more intentional about that. But now that it's become, like, I'm really realizing it's 4 years, it's quite embarrassing. But anyway, like I said, working on it. All right, let's get into business. I registered my first business legit. Like I've been doing stuff obviously the last 4 years that I've been here, but like my first registered business, tax paying, like properly done. And oh my God, I thought I was done after doing like the passport situation and citizenship because I took you guys along with that. And if you guys had watched from 2 years ago, that whole process, I was just deflated, all of the above. I was exhausted. I'm like, this can't be it. And at that time they had just started like automating the systems and stuff. So some things were easy, some not so much. But generally speaking, it was just unnecessary and long. So now when you're dealing with registering a business, you're dealing with different ministries and all the ministries have different things and requirements and this and that and the third. And I'm like, seriously, I'm back at this again. I hated it so much. I think I have one more document left to do. And I was like, let me take a break. Like, is it dire? Like, I just need a moment to woosah. But no, like the fact that, what did I go to register? A tin for my business. And I went on the website. And first of all, most things aren't even explained properly on websites. Then you get there and it's an Excel sheet. I have a MacBook with hacked Excel on it, so it's not even working properly. It's like, the macros don't work. I'm like, what does that even mean? Call them, they're like, no, you have to use that sheet. I was like, what? No. Went inside, turns out it took all of like an hour, 2 hours. It was not even, I think an hour. I was done. I had my tin, I had all what I needed, but I had to go there. Everything is so slow, so old school. And I'm like, I'm too fast paced for our society sometimes, but also maybe it's a sign I need to just slow down. But I don't think I ever will. Like, I'm in my 30s. Like, this is how God made me. All right, so back to also square one of needing an assistant. I'm going to be a lot more intentional. I've talked to so many of my business friends while I was on this little break of having an employee because I was like, child, it's a me problem. I'm the common denominator, clearly. Maybe I'm not hiring properly. Maybe I'm not clear. Maybe I'm not articulating. But for someone who's always been in managerial positions and I've always trained people, I was just like, I don't understand why I can't hire the right person. I've never hired for another business. It was always just whoever was brought my way, I would train them and put them out to the world. You know what I mean? In the ecosystem of whatever it is that I worked in. But I was like, I'm really good at that. And they always were like, you're an exemplary employee. We feel like you can teach someone, And I'm really good at teaching. So I just didn't understand what was going on. So I took a break and I was like, okay, let me look internally. Actually, I think I figured it out. I definitely figured it out. And I also know that the fact that I'm not patient doesn't help. And I don't extend people enough grace that I learned a lot of this stuff hacked over the last 10 years of what I do. So to expect someone to just know everything is crazy, which I don't think I did, but like just the work ethic, which don't get me started on. Work ethic is so different. That's not everyone, by the way. You'll meet like one person in a pool of 10 people and you're like, you're so phenomenal. But why is it one person in a pool of 10 people? That's the issue. But I have so much faith because I'm like, since I've had so many assistants, I must hit the nail on the head by hiring the next one. Like the next one has to be it. I've prayed, I've put it out there, and I'm like, God, literally, please, I need help. I can't operate. No one can be a one-man show and try and scale and grow. It doesn't happen. It doesn't work that way. It would be lovely, but no. It'd be lovely to have more me's, but no. I don't know. I just have to accept, and maybe the person will grow with me. Maybe I want to learn from someone too, as much as they're my employee. I want it to be a give and take situation, you know? Otherwise, are you my student? Is this an internship forever? Like, things like that I don't get. Like, you have to add value. That was what the missing component was. So, working on it. All right, so the next category is my concept of time and money has completely changed for the better, and I absolutely love it. So starting off with money, because the cost of living is so low here, you end up like a lot of small things that don't seem like a lot, but they can add up if you're not smart and you don't plan, which I mentioned this before, which I'll do another updated cost of living in January as well. But if you're not on it, you can definitely end up kind of like when you go to Walmart and you know it's like a cheaper place. You're like, it's a cheaper place, but there's so many great things that you can get. So by the time you get to the cash register, you've come and it's like, oh, I only plan to spend like $30-$40, and they ring you up and it's like $250, and you're like, $250? Oh, what? That's Uganda. You end up spending so much more than what you really needed to. So I realized when I started actually planning more strategically and having a consistent income where I was like, okay, let me allocate this to that. I can have savings, I have this, that, and the third. I was like, I'm very comfortable living under $1,000 a month, and I want to keep it that way. Obviously, this doesn't include like travel, for example, and when I mean travel, like seeing something other than here, and I'll explain why that's so necessary in a bit. But if you're just looking at spending on a daily basis, me as a single woman, I'm very okay under $1,000, and I want to keep it that way. I want to keep it that way as long as I can, and just put all my money towards investing and all these things that I wanted to do, and why I even came and moved to Uganda to begin with. I realized, especially going to Canada this time around, you spend so much money abroad on dumb things. Mind you, I had pre-planned. So when I booked my ticket, I think I booked it 4 or 5 months before I left. So when I booked my ticket, I made there was one Saturday I was like bored. I'm like, let me make a list of everything I need and how much it costs, so I know how much I actually need to go with. So by the time I was leaving, I was like, oh, let me just put this paycheck towards that. And I'm like, so good. And luckily while I was there, I ended up actually having like some extra money I fell upon, which was really nice. But outside of that, you actually end up spending so much more. So I remember going to the mall with my sister. One of the days I was like knocking off my list of things that I was buying. And I really wanted a crepe because I love savory crepes, like the chicken, honey mustard chicken crepes. Freaking good. But anyway, so we're going to get a crepe, and this isn't without a side or anything. They ring me up and it was $20. I'm like, why is a crepe with $20? I'm like, that's equivalent, okay, Canadian dollars, like 40 something USD. Like, I got a nice meal in UG for that. Are you crazy? Like, a equivalent of this would be like, I don't know, 20K, like $8. It's like half the price pretty much. So I was just kind of like, So you actually end up spending a lot. I love Five Guys. To get a whole meal at Five Guys is like $25 per person. So like there's so many little things where I was like, I'm very weirdly frugal. I've become more frugal, but that I spend more on things I feel like are more worth it now. So like I'll be okay with dropping money to go on a vacation because it's like, it's for my peace of mind and my mind, body, and soul. I need this. Or like a really good quality item, like a really beautiful, good quality bag I know I'm gonna have for a really long time. I've become more strategic like that, where I'm not frugal on things like that, but I'm everyday spend, I'm like, child, why? But it's easier to manage your money here, which I like. It's harder to get access to a lot of things you normally would. Amazon Prime, we don't have. Even as much as Jumia wants to be great, they're not Amazon. You're not going to do same day delivery, please. And half the things are always out of stock. So things like that where I'm like, this is actually a blessing. And until we catch up, let me just save my money. So now the concept of time, I think, is more of a maturing and growing older type of thing, which I'm grateful for. I actually really like. I'm a little more stingy with my time. I've been spending a lot of time by myself these days, and I freaking love it. I've become a lot more intentional with certain things that I do. I'm more focused and business oriented. A lot of my energy goes towards the things I want to grow. Like, I'm very big on like legacy building. I don't have kids yet. I don't have a husband, but you guys always hear me mention like, when I have my future family. Obviously, you have to prepare for that. So I'm very okay with spending my time and energy and money on that than in the now. But I enjoy the now, like the little things I do for myself. Like these days I've been going for massages more. That's another thing with money and time. I always had time for myself, child. But like for doing fun things like a massage or whatever it may be. But things like spending money on the gym, for example. I didn't pay for a gym here for the longest time because I was used to LA Fitness. LA Fitness is a nicer gym in Canada. I don't know how much it costs now because I know COVID and stuff happened. But before COVID, you got a membership for $40. I remember one girl being like, $40 a month? Are you like rich? That's crazy. Because people were used to the $10 gym. I think Planet Fitness and like, is it Life Fitness? I forget. Whatever, the other one. The other, not budget gym. It was still good gyms, but my gym was $40 a month. I had a pool, access, free classes, all of the above. I'm sure there was steam and sauna, but I didn't understand the importance of that till now. I'm like, child, every workout I have to steam. That's the Swedish in me. So now to move here and I'm like, pay $100 a month for a gym, what? Meanwhile, now my gym, I pay more than that in fact, but I was like, this is something I'm investing in myself. I love my gym. I go there and I don't feel like the hustle and bustle and dust of where I live. Like, I feel like it's my aesthetic. It's very me. And it's somewhere that I frequent. I spend a lot of my time. So I've now learned to just put my money into things that make more sense. So I feel like I'm probably saying this to a lot of people who probably discovered this a lot earlier. But for me, there's some things that just, they're not a luxury, they're a necessity. And a nice gym is one. A nice car is another. That's why I don't have a car yet. People are like, why don't you have a car? But I could afford a car. I could afford two, but I want a particular car, so no. So yeah, I'm just now more intentional with my time and my money. So the last thing I want to mention in terms of time and money is business. I've also realized I'm in a very fortunate position because I have so many different random streams of income that I don't need to live off of my business income for now. I would love to incorporate my salary in a few months, but as it's launched, as of last month, I don't want to touch that money. Like, even if I could do it for like a year or two, I want the money to be reinvested back into the business. So now I'm in like just being a lot more strategic and intentional, like I said, with my time and money, whether it's personal or for business. All right, so when it comes to friendship and relationships, this is gonna be real short, child. I have real nothing of an update. I feel like I had more of an epiphany, if anything, this year. And like I said, I'm just going with the flow. Life be lifing, go with the flow and allow it and leave it. So I feel like I said, put so much energy into how I see my reality, right? And like making sure that's what actually manifests around me. And the joke is you're not supposed to put that much effort, you're supposed to allow it for it to happen. Anyway, with that being said, whether it's me personally, as me, putting it into myself, or putting all this effort to business, it's the same with friends and family. I ride for my people. If I consider you my people, like I'm a very social butterfly, I talk to a lot of people, doesn't mean you're my friend, you could just be an acquaintance, or like your friend level 1, you know? But my friend level 10s, die hard, my people, I ride for my people. And I think I had this epiphany when I was in Canada. No, I definitely had this epiphany when I was in Canada. When I was around my friends, and I don't even want to cry now, but I was around them and I had all these little aha moments of having conversations, just regular conversations with them. And whether they would remind me about something of when I was a kid or when we were kids, that we loved, that was part of like character building now. I like, for example, one of my friends brought up, he was like, yeah, like, do you still do track? Like, do you still run and stuff? And I was like, First of all, so funny you even remember that part about me because we don't talk regularly, but we see each other yearly whenever, I don't know, not even like intentionally when I'm there, but we'll see each other family things and family friend functions and Uganda community things and whatever. So I was just like, whoa, that's so funny that he remembered that. But I was like, no, like I don't. I miss it though. Like I've been saying I miss it. It's something that I want to do. Then another one of my friends was just asking about like just general like dating scene here and everything. And she was like, it's so wild because she's like, you're like such a, like the whole package. Like you could do this, that, and the third. You're skilled, you're talented, you're this and that. She was just asking. But it's like, I felt so whole and a little reminder of like being around people who just know me for me, but it's because we grew up with each other. And I had to remember that I moved somewhere where everybody knew each other and I just kind of like dropped out of the sky, kind of, but for the people that I've known that are my friends from when we were kids that I'm friends with here, shout out to them. I love them so much, and my other friends too that I'm really close with. But they know me for me, but everybody else only sees whatever they see. So if that's whatever they see online, which is still really me, but I think some people are shocked that what they see online and what they see in real life is the same person. I'm like, I don't change for nobody. Ain't nobody got that much time and energy to be changing depending on no, it's me, honey, and if I don't want to be around you, I don't want to be around you. Who cares? But it was such like a breath of fresh air, and I was just like, oh my God, like I love my people. I have amazing friends that I would ride for. But it doesn't mean that you're meant for everybody. And I had to remind myself that like I came here, I spread myself everywhere, I enjoyed. I was like, oh, I'm friends with friends, I'm friends here, I'm friends, oh, I love everybody, great. Then the reality sets in of like how people are, or that people are just know each other, and like you're now coming to this space, and it's a society that's not easily trusting. So on top of that, people also just believe or listen to anything and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, child. So now I'm just like, hey, I ain't got nothing to prove to nobody. If you want to believe a whole bunch of BS, believe the BS. Cool. Time will tell. God has a beautiful way of showing true colors of people. And I was just like, anyway. But yeah, and then I made the most amazing friends here, and people though who just wanted to know me for me, and I appreciate and love them, and I will ride for them till the day I die. But just had to remind myself, and it was just that of being in Canada. Last time I was in Canada, I wasn't around all of my friends, and I think I saw some of my friends for a short period of time because I was there for my friend's wedding. So it was like small catch up of like, we have 20 minutes. How have you been? How's your life been? What have you been up to the last 2 years? This time I was there for 2 months. So like the catch ups were endless. There's a point where one of my aunts were like, you're still here? It's just so funny. Like I grew up in a community in Toronto that was a Ugandan community, and I feel like, which was also a reason why luckily I've been able to navigate here without too much of shock, but still shock. It's like if you take Uganda or Kampala for what it is right now, and you are living here and you're here regularly, you kind of might get it. And like you move people to Toronto. You could take the person out of Uganda, but you will never take Uganda out of the people. No. So I grew up in like a smaller version of that, but did a really good job with like keeping like adult things to adults and then kid things to kids. So we never really knew much of what was actually going on and if there was drama, this, that, and the third and whatever. And I don't think it's a Uganda problem at all. I was having this convo with someone, I forget who it was, and I was saying how it's a big city mentality. Kampala is a big city. I think we're 1.5 million people or something like that. That's still considered a big city. So it's the same how I experienced in my early 20s in Toronto when I was in the club scene all the time. I pretty much lived in the club. Me and my friends, that was our full-time job in the summers when it was in school. We were in the club. It was the same people all the time, everywhere you went. Obviously, if you're around the same people all the time, you're bored, causing issues for no reason. You're bored. Boredom is rampant in some big cities. So I was talking to a friend about this, about LA, and how LA is the same thing. It's a small city, but a big city at that, and everybody knows each other. So the lights keep dying. Anyway, 1.5 million people is big, but it's small. So everybody knows everybody. Everybody is bored. What I will say about Kampala being slightly different than other big cities is because our economy isn't as, I would say, thriving as others. There's not constant developments, because I was talking to another friend about this. There's not constant developments happening. You're resorted to talking about the same thing, the same people, the same drama, the same, blah, blah, blah. It's just annoying. So that's also another reason why I've spent a lot of time by myself, because it's like, I can't flourish in this, and this isn't what I came here for. If I did, it's like an extended vacation of a lot. It's not for me. I don't care. We have a very rampant gossip society, like most big cities that have a small inner circle. I'm just like, I'm okay. I'm very okay. So yeah, I just feel like everybody knows each other. No one seems to really genuinely care like each other that much, because 1 minute someone's talking about somebody, then the next 2 seconds the person walks by, they're smiling. I'm like, is this reality? This is the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. No, I don't want any parts. I'm very okay. So I'm now learned not to get caught up in all of that. And it's one thing because I've always been that person where I was like, hearing drama is hilarious to me. It's like watching like the Real Housewives, but in real life, right? But it's one thing hearing it, and it's another thing being like the topic of discussion. Ain't nobody got time for that. I moved here to make money. That has nothing to do with any of that. So yeah, that sums up that category. All right, so when it comes to the category of the mind, I feel like now that I'm at a place where I'm very not by myself. Like I said, I obviously have friends and family that I do see and such, but I've been in a place where I feel weird that I'm not giving back or doing something that's bigger and outside of me. I feel like life is so much bigger than just us, and sometimes we get so caught up in our life struggle or whatever it is that we have going on, or even life flourishing, like a good time, whatever it may be. It's a lot of me. And it's so refreshing to do something for others regularly and you're not thinking about all of that stuff. You know what I mean? And I've always been somebody that's like that. I think I've mentioned this before. Like I was that kid that would go trick-or-treating for Halloween. They'd give you the UNICEF boxes at school and then you just fill them with a bunch of coins and then like bring them back. So it's like giving back in the season. I used to fill it up all the time. I'd go trick or treat, get my candies, and be like, do you have any extra change? Like I used to always like to do something. My first business, every holiday season, I'd give 10% of the profits to an organization in Uganda. Stuff like that. But like now I'm older and having gone through so many like churches and I don't know, just realizing like the real behind the scenes of most companies. I was like, I don't think you can just align yourself with anybody. Just because you want to be like a well-rounded person, you're just going to go and throw your name on a charity is wild to me. So most charities I don't really support, like I'm like, what is it that you do? And I feel like for me personally, it was always more than just money. I feel like actually donating your time is even more important than just your money. And I haven't found anything that I align with. I want to find an organization that works with what I actually truly believe. So if it's a Saturday and I'm invited to do something there, I don't want to feel like it's an obligation. I want to feel like this is something I would do regardless. You know what I mean? This is something that I actually believe in. And I'm like, I want to contribute myself, my name, my time, my money, my efforts too, you know? So I actually want to be more intentional about that. I've said this in every single yearly update, but I actually think it's something I really, 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 really want to do now. I've been wanting to, I don't know. I haven't been intentional about like putting myself out there. And to be honest with you, there's a lot of people who do great things, but to me, I don't believe in giving blindly. I think there's a Bible verse about giving blindly, and I was like, child, that's what I don't get. Maybe over time I will. I don't get it. It's one thing giving small change to people everywhere, but like sometimes you're wondering, like, and this has been me all the time. Okay, I could see a homeless person. Let me give you food instead of giving you the random money that I feel like, and this isn't everywhere, but certain places. This used to happen a lot when I would club. And then you're like, I know you're gonna go like buy stuff that's just gonna mess you up more than me helping you with like a meal. So I want to be more intentional with things like that. I don't know. I'm still figuring it out is my point, but it's part of the update of it hasn't happened and it needs to happen. It's been 4 years. Like, let's get it together. So yeah, serving others. That's really what it is. To sum it all up, serving others. I want to be in a place where I'm serving others more now. And it was so much easier when you're part of a church community. But I'm not even going to touch on that subject, honey. I'm okay being sad. I don't want to go to church. I don't want a new church. I don't want to do that right now. I'm not in that place in life at the moment. But serving others would be beautiful. And I love like empowering young women. I love empowering really young women in situations and youth, really and truly. That's my main thing. But I just trying to figure out where I fall into the bigger scope of it all and how I could actually be impactful, especially in my privilege, how I can be impactful to other people and serve them. All right, part of mine is therapy. I was so regular in the beginning of the year, and then I went to Canada, and then I wasn't. I came back and I haven't. It's there in my budget. Therapy, I just end up putting it into food. But it's something that I feel like I want to go back into, but I also want to explore it in a different way. Earlier in the year, I was talking to someone who made a really good point. His career is around, I wouldn't say specifically therapy, but like empowering organizations and such. I don't know how to actually word it properly. But anyway, he made a really good point, and he was like, ancestrally, and just how we are as a people in Africa, we're very like community oriented, village oriented, people oriented. So how we solve a lot of our problems is with groups of people. So one-on-one talk therapy isn't necessarily a natural thing. And because he's a guy. Women, I feel like it's easier for us to talk about our situations and our things, but it's something I've actually noticed in my therapy sessions, because I really love my therapist and I love going for therapy. I think it's very necessary. Everyone has their own form of therapy that works for them though, and that's where this is coming to. So he made a good point and was just like, that type of therapy doesn't work for him, which I thought was mind-blowing, because I was like, you literally do this for other people, but he does things in group setting. So I was like, oh, okay. I don't know if this is enough of a safe space in our small community of Kampala for me to be going for group therapy sessions. But there's different ways to have therapeutic moments. So I think it goes hand in hand for me personally, talk therapy that I have with my therapist one-on-one, but then also have that with other forms. I find the gym therapeutic. I think that's a form of therapy that works for me. I need to, like, I could be so cluttered. I go to the gym, I leave, just moving my body makes me feel like, okay, things aren't that bad, you know? Like, I don't know if it's the endorphins, all of the terms, dopamine. I don't know. There's so many different things. I don't know what they all are. I have a thingy on my phone that explains them all. But all of them just get out of your body, and now you're like, I'm a new person. So that's a form of therapy. So now I'm embracing other things, because I realized talk therapy is great, but it can't be the only form, only because I'm really starting to see how it can become a bit redundant. But it's a specific individual person holding me accountable. And I've always said this. I was like, if I could have a friend who's a therapist, they can have all my monies. I would just want someone who's already in my life that can like coach me throughout life. That's how I would love my talk therapy to be, my one-on-one. Then I can do all these other forms of things that can be different forms of therapy for me. And group sessions, I realize a lot of seminars you go to, or retreats and getaways with groups of people, that's a form of it. So yeah, I want to like mix it up, switch it up, change it up a little bit, but still be intentional of going and doing these things. Yeah, I think that works for me the best. All right, body gym. This is the most consistent I've been in a really long time. I think since months before I left Canada, when I was going to the gym with my mom and my sister every morning at 6 a.m. consistently. We were crazy people and I loved it. And it was just because we all lived in the house together. So even if one person didn't feel like going, you're like, really? And then like you'd make fun of them. They'll be there tomorrow, half asleep, half alive, but they're working out. Really funny. But so yeah, from January 1st, I was in the gym 5 days a week intentionally. And it also helps to pay for a gym that's expensive because you're like, I need to get all my money's worth. Are you crazy? I was like, all my money's worth. Therefore, like what you're gonna do is be there and stare at the weights, like you're gonna work out. So by the time I was leaving for Canada, I loved my body. I just didn't get abs as quick because I started going out more and I was like, child, that's not aligning. That's why when I came back, I was like, we're not doing that. Until I have chiseled abs, I'm not going anywhere. I don't need to eat randomness out and about, all the MSG and the randomness that they put in food. I don't need to drink till I'm drunk and all this sugar in my belly. Like, not yet. Let me first get ripped and and then we can talk. That's really my mindset right now. But the gym, obsessed. Only thing is I went to Canada. I was walking with my mom, which was good. She's really crazy. She does 15,000 steps a day, I think is her goal every day. But she's super busy too. So usually, I don't know, maybe she hits like 10,000 or something. But yeah, there's no gym where I was. So I didn't gym. So I fell off for 2 months after being so consistent for 7 months straight, you guys. So your girl's back. We're back at the gym. It's hilarious. I decided a month before December. We know all those things I just said I don't want to do is going to happen in December. I'm like, let me get it out of my system. And I go back to January reset like last year. Come see me in July. Then come see me in July. I'm going to be like, I'm so excited. All right, when it comes to the soul, I feel like my soul is fed through time with God. I've been intentional about that. I'm back on my YouVersion app, the Bible app pretty much. And I did a plan. First I did like those small dinky plans of like 5 days. And then there's streaks, which I think was the best thing that ever came from Gen Z's, was introducing streaks, because then you're like, I can't fall off for 1 day, which I did in Canada. So I did the 5-day ones, then I did like a 30-day money one on like money in the Bible and whatever, because I needed that. I needed to change my mindset of money, you guys, which I mentioned earlier. And I did that, and I was consistent for like 60 days. And one night when I got back here, I fell off, and I was like, I was at 63, and it wasn't about the streaks. It was about how I was feeling, because I was intentionally spending time with God, and reading the Bible from a perspective of not judging myself and not feeling like, I don't know, this condemned sinner that everyone wants you to feel like. It's up to you what you want to believe. Honestly, in this life, I could care less, because at the end of the day, you die and it's between you and God. So whatever works for you works. So I never knock other people's religions or beliefs or anything. Me personally too, whatever I call myself a daughter of God, that works for me, because I don't identify fully in Christianity anymore. I don't identify fully in anything other than being that I'm a daughter of God. So with that being said, I've just been a lot more intentional, and I started a plan now that's 1 year, and it's just to read the Bible, like to read the Bible from beginning to end and really understand it. So I feel like because of that, I open the app and then there's this whole daily guided prayer, and it's been intentional about spending time with God. And even if I say the morning, which is very rare, but like say there's a morning where I just was so exhausted, so I slept and I have to go to work immediately. Even at night, I have to do that. What I would love is for it to be more consistent, so it's day and night, but nighttime I'll just say like a small prayer as I'm falling asleep, and then meditate and manifest and all of that beautiful stuff. But yeah, I think feeding my soul, one thing that I know is people. I'm such a people person, and I think through therapy is what I realized. Definitely was a people pleaser, and I want to say was because I'm like, I need to release that part of my release. See ya. But spending time by myself a lot has now made me realize and be more present when I'm spending time around other people and seeing like how I am, and if I show up for myself too, not putting someone before me. Because child, I will take the shirt off my back for my people, the people who love and care about me in this life, that I know are my people. My people. There's nothing I wouldn't do for you. There's nothing I wouldn't do for you. So I've had to realize that's not everybody. Girl, that's not everybody. That's not everybody. I gotta leave people alone. Leave. No one's gonna change. Leave people as you see them. Leave them alone. You're not begging to be in nobody's life. Literally, anyone begging to be in yours is also weird and suspect as AF. So, you know, you gotta, unless it's a guy who's trying to be trying to court you, that's different. But that's not begging to be in your life. That's intentionally showing up for you, to align with you, to do life with you forever. You know, that's different. But just random people out and about who seem to be overly familiar and want to be, no. Nothing is by force anymore. Everything is by flow, child. Flow. Life be lifing. I go with the flow, so leave it. So anyway, with that being said, people feed my soul. I'm a social butterfly. I love being out and about. I love learning about people. Like the other day, I was telling someone, because they were telling me like, I don't want DMC's at the club. I'm like, that's my favorite time at the club. Tell me about you. Tell me what makes you you. Tell me what ticks. And order a couple of tequilas on that. It's my favorite. I love just socializing with people and talking to people. So it feeds my soul. But I also had to realize like, there's a time and a place for everything, and also like it's okay, spend time with self so you could spend more time with God as well. So yeah, that's how I've been feeding my soul. I want to get more into books again. I've been reading a lot of fiction. That's why I said again, like more like read a fiction, then read a self-development, then read a finance book, then go back to a fiction, like rotate, because I've been reading a lot of fiction, but I love it. Like I got lost in stories, like ooh. So generally, to wrap up this very long video, first of all, thank you guys if you've made it this far. I love you guys, the best. I think this is also a benefit of being more inside and more intentional about my time and spending more time with myself, is I must spend more time recording for you guys, which is fun. I want to make these more often and do these videos, sit downs, just talking about various topics, whether it's about Africa, what's going on here, or the diaspora, what's going on here. Nothing too serious, just more so relatable to the day-to-day person, because I've realized, which is why I stopped watching the news, you be watching it, you feel like trash, and then it's like all these things that are external, and you don't realize how that your emotions affect your internal. If you know, you know. It's a lot of woo-wah to some people. It goes over some people's heads, but it actually is so real. It's so real. It's crazy how real your emotions affect your reality. Like how you feel affects what you see around you. So it's good to just feel good, feel great, be in the know, but have boundaries with that. Just like I have boundaries with people, have boundaries with what you consume. Music, what you watch, everything. Have boundaries. You can't just be taking in everything and think you're going to feel great about life. Life is going to look like shit. But anyway, one thing that, to wrap up everything is, yeah, life be lifing. You're not for everyone. And who cares? Not everyone's going to be for you. Not everyone's going to ride for you. Not everyone is going to get you. And that is fine. And I'm saying this, I don't care what age you are, no matter where you move in this world. I don't care where you move. If you move anywhere that is not your norm and what you're used to seeing on a regular basis, you can even still be in your norm or what you're seeing on a regular basis. But you're going to evolve as a human being and as a person. Not everyone is for you. Not everyone wants the best for you. Not everyone is going to ride for you. And the people who do, focus on them. Those are the people that matter. Don't take them for granted. And this is me, I'm saying this, and I'm not lecturing you guys, by the way. I'm saying this so I can watch this and remind myself the next time I try and feel like crap about God knows what, about people or circumstances or something that's happened or just life. Because life be life. So yeah, going with the flow, just go with the flow and try and have as many moments. Someone, I forget, I wish I could find it. I hope I find it so I can put it here. It was a meme, word meme, that was basically talking about trauma, something trauma. I forgot what the word was, but they were basically saying instead of that, there's moments of like glimmers, like happy glimmer moments in your life that happen throughout the day, and to focus on that and feel good about that and romanticize your life. Just be like, God, this is the best. Like, this is an amazing life. And not just talking to yourself as an affirmation to get yourself out of a negative space, but actually feeling it and being like, oh no, this is really dope that this happened. Like, this is such a beautiful thing. Like, more of this. Celebrate it like crazy. So yeah, yes, me, that's what I'm focusing on. And then creating the ecosystem based off of that, and good emotions and good energy and good people, and creating that ecosystem for myself. And I feel like that's the best way to thrive living, I would say, anywhere that you move that's not your day-to-day norm that you're used to, but definitely for me personally, living in Uganda, creating that ecosystem. I noticed that people who came here with an ecosystem thrived a bit better. I have a subscriber who actually randomly bumped into, that happens a lot, by the way. Thanks to all you people who do come up to me and they're like, I watch your videos. You guys are so sweet. But I heard like Rachel, where was I going? I was leaving MTN, Lugogo, and I heard my name. And I turned around and the person didn't look familiar, but they were like, Rachel, how are you? So they talked to me very familiar. So I'm like, okay, probably someone that I've talked to online. And she was like, yeah, we used to talk a lot in DMs and whatever. I was like, oh, great. So she reminded me, she came, she's African, but African American, like African and American, moved here with her family. And she said she personally was having a hard time, but her kids integrated so well. And her husband, she said, was very much like me, where it's like, this is going to work, you know. But for her, she was having a very, 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 very hard time. And I was just like, oh, that's unfortunate. So I wanted to connect her to like an American community that's here, because that does help a lot. I know that at some point there was a North American group of women that frequent and meet frequently, but I joined when they stopped. So I don't know if they still do or not, but I thought it would be easier if you moved here with that, your ecosystem already, like your husband, your children, and then you're kind of just like plopping here. And I thought it was a beautiful thing that at least her kids loved it, because it would be so much harder if you did and like you're forcing something on your children versus the other way around. So I was like, okay, no, like this is manageable. This can be mitigated. But she hadn't left in 3 years, and I was like, oh, that's hard. Ciao. I thought I was ending this video. Before I leave, let me just mention, you need to travel often. If you're moving somewhere that doesn't have the convenience to the level that you're used to, and doesn't have things fast, readily available, quick, efficient, fast system, you need escapes, pocketed escapes on a regular basis, which is why I'm saving and stacking my money, because I'm not joking. Monthly, I need to be somewhere. I don't care if it's ginger. I need to get out. Your girl has to get. So yeah, I thought it'd be easier when you had an ecosystem. So I was explaining to her, like, no, child, like, you need to go visit home more often. I need to go visit home more often, and I go yearly. I need to go every couple of months, and then just go see other places, the beach, water, trees, not just the city. But yeah, that's one thing I'm focusing on, is like create that ecosystem, like a group. It doesn't matter if it's small or big, but I feel like it's beautiful when it's small, because it's easier to manage. You get busier when you're older, but small group of friends that are really like genuine, great people. You're not putting all of your life worth and everything and expectations on them, but they're there to feed and to, feed your soul, but you're also there to also do the same for them. Family, a good business, and, good relationship with God, like that beautiful ecosystem. I don't think it's ever going to be perfect, but just to have those elements in it. So that's really been the focus, and it's always going to be the focus for the next like 10, 20, 30 years of my life. I know I'll always live here. It'll always be my base, but I'm very open now, more so than I was before. Once I feel like I create more of that foundation, like I feel more settled here. Like I have more things secured that I need secured. I'm very okay with doing a 6-month stint in Dubai and coming back. Being maybe in Kenya for 6 months, come back. I don't mind doing all of these little travel here and there for the fun of it. That's just my personality. That even in Canada, I could not, after a couple of months, I was like, are you kidding? I think there was once I did LA in like twice in 3 weeks. I was like, child, I gotta go. I gotta see things. I gotta experience other things. It can't be this is every day. And I know sometimes it can come off as complaining, and I never want to be complaining because I love Uganda. But even if when I was in Canada, it couldn't just be Canada all the time. Like, it's boring. And then here, it's a bit it's a bit too much. So yeah, anyway, I think that wraps up my video. Please remember to share this video with people that you feel like would benefit from it. All the videos that you come across that you see on my channel. Please comment below if you're planning to move here. If you have any more questions, please comment below. I think I'll do this a little more frequently of this sit down, but also address some of your questions as just individual videos. Because like I said, girl, I miss sit downs. I love my vlogs and I love my business features. They're just not as consistent. I'm like, let's do more sit downs. Let's sit down and chat. So leave some comments, questions, concerns, happy comments, whatever, down below so we can talk about them in another video. And share this video with anyone that you feel like would benefit. Do remember to like and subscribe, and I'll check you guys in another video. Bye.